Greetings, ladies and gentlefish, and welcome to a pair of my replays, both of which are going to be on Corellia. They're both going to be assault games, and in both cases I'm going to be driving the KV-3. That's the Tier 7, one of the Tier 7 Soviet heavy tanks, for those who don't know. I have a full review of this, if you are interested in going and checking it out, and of its sister tank, if you will, the other Tier 7 Soviet heavy tank, the IS. So, Corellia. Assault game, and we're kind of middle of the pack. It's a Tier 8 game, so we're not top tier, we're not bottom tier. But, well, perhaps this begs the question, what are you going to do? The KV-3 is a tank that's really defined by its dubious mobility, big fat gun, although these big fat 122mm guns are kind of getting common at Tier 7, and its armour. And so it's one of those tanks, relatively slow, with relatively good armour, that really is kind of at the mercy of the matchmaker to a certain extent. It likes being top tier, really doesn't like being bottom tier so much. So what do you do when you are not top tier? Well, we're still one of the most heavily armoured tanks on our team, so we're still going to play this relatively aggressively. That Type 64, well, yeah, he was just way too aggressive, and he paid for it. So we're still going to play this fairly aggressively, but because we are one of the most heavily armoured tanks on our team. I mean, if you look at our Tier 8s, Object 416, armour is trash. Pair of AMX CDCs, the armour's even worse. T-32 has good armour, but really it's good armour on the turret, not really much anywhere else, and KV-4 does have good armour. So we do need to play as a heavy tank in this game. The enemy team just have more heavily armoured machines. Now, you may or may not have noticed that I'm kind of the only one over here. There was an MT-25 who's decided discretion is the better part of valour, and there's also a T-34-85, I'm just slowly backing off trying to side scrape this T-29, who is potentially coming up behind these guys. Ooh, my tracks absorbed the shot from the T-29 and I managed to plonk a big one into him because he's over-angling his armour far too much. There's a T-34-85 on our team who's coming up behind them, but he hasn't got himself in the best position in the world, to be honest, and sidearm of the T-29 again. If you're going to do that, mate, you really need to improve your angle. You were angling way too much and giving me shots through your side. Anyway, that T-34 on our team, I very much doubt he's going to be long for this world, but a big thank you to, I guess a thank you to him for helping me out. And I do manage to take down that T-29. Now there's an AMX CDC. Don't pay too much attention to the damage panel, it is a bit buggy. I'm using the 9.7 client to play this 9.6 replay, so bear that in mind. Right, so we've got this AMX CDC over here, and is he platooned? No. Oh, there's just the one on their team, we have two. There's also a KV-85, and there's a VK-3001D who might try and come up behind me. Firstly, let's take off over half the health of that KV-85 with a high damage roll. If we could kill the KV-85, that would be good. Bounce his shot. These guys are trying to get around me, and this is a slightly awkward position. Ow, that hurt. Kill the KV-85. AMX CDC is next, but he doesn't want to hang around. Oh no, he does want to hang around here, which is an interesting decision, seeing as that MT-25 is ploughing his rear. So we plonk an AP shell in there, and then because the AMX CDC's armour is trash, I'm loading a high explosive round. By trash I mean like 20-30mm, enough for a HE round to do the business. Alas, it explodes on the tracks, tracks him, which is good, sets him on fire, which is good, doesn't kill him, which is less good, doesn't do full penetrating damage, but the MT-25 on our team continues to gently, slowly, lovingly caress the AMX CDC's bum until it just becomes a little bit too much for our AMX friend, and he explodes. Meanwhile, I have been reduced to 150 health, so about 11% of my health. Shout out to the MT-25, by the way. Sir, Host Lux, thank you. You were over here earlier on, I helped you out against the Type. I'm over here now, you helped me out against the CDC. Good man. and against the KV-85. So, there are. We're winning this game 9-7. And we've still got over half, well, that's the halfway mark. We've still got half of this match left, in terms of raw time allowance. Oh, there goes the enemy T-34. So, hopefully, we should be able to bring this game to a conclusion in our favour. They have 2 top-tier tanks remaining. They're completely out of tier 7s, and they have 3 bottom-tier tanks remaining. By comparison, we have 2 top-tier tanks remaining, we have 2 bottom-tier tanks remaining, but we have a trio of mid-tier tanks, a trio of tier 7s. So, I'm being a little bit careful over here. I want to try and find out if the VK or the Hellcat or someone else is over here and is going to be a problem. The thing is, I have 150 health, so I'm a one-shot for pretty much everything and its aunt. Oh, it might be a 2-shot for the VK. And the view range on the KV-3 is garbage. Now, you can see I'm using my standard grinding equipment pauper setup, so I do actually have binocular telescopes on this tank. I do not recommend you taking binos. But it does actually turn my terrible view range into at least usable. But my view range still sucks. Or isn't great. And I got spotted, which tells me that there is indeed someone over there. It's unlikely to be that VK, because we know where he was last spotted. The KV-4 has now been taken down. The Nashorn is all the way over the other side, so that was presumably the Hellcat who spotted me. Alright, so, if we can get that Hellcat to shoot us in the tracks... Oh, there goes the enemy Nashorn. Then we might be able to take this guy out. I take a blind shot at what I think is a likely location for him to be in. There's our little MT-25 friend, and there's the VK. But I'm not rewarded with a kill with the blind shot. Maybe I hit him, maybe I didn't. I don't think I did. VK, I think, is coming up to try and kill our MT-25, so I'm trying to come up to prevent that from happening. Very cautious that I'm on low health. Oh, MT goes down. I'm a bit slow on the uptake. I can probably take one shot from this VK, but I will at least avenge our little MT-25, if not save him, because, as I've said before, he played an awesome game. He was an utter rock star. That just leaves the Hellcat and KV-3. Can the KV-3 snipe? Can the KV-3 snipe? Yes, it can. Kill number 4. And that polishes the game off. We even managed to cap the base into the bargain. We win by every measure of victory you can possibly think of. And that ended up being quite a nice little game. So that was actually my first ace tanker in the KV-3. I was surprised at this result screen. I wasn't actually expecting it to be that good. It didn't feel like a particularly good game. But I guess when your gun hits for 390 every time you pull the trigger, at tier 7 the damage racks up rather quickly. And if you look at the ribbons I actually picked up, I didn't get any major awards, but if you look at the ribbons, we got Bruiser, okay, yeah, critical damage. Fire for effect, alright, we did more damage than we have health. Is that Master Gunner? Oh, for so many hits, okay, fine. Fighter, 4 kills, yeah, we know about that. And Spotter? Really? 3,096 damage done, not too shabby. 4 kills, 1,409 base experience, well, that was unexpected. And easily the top of our team on both damage, done, and experience. And Host Lux, shout out to him and his MT-25, in a tier 8 game, actually managed to rack up almost 2,000 damage with that little 57mm gun, which is a nice showing from him. So well done to him. So, 11 shots fired, 10 hits, 10 pens. Most of that damage was up close and personal. We blocked just over 1,000 damage with our armour, but we also picked up almost 1,300 assistance damage. On what? Well, the T-29, the KV-85 and the AMX CDC, if you remember that lot. And also bear in mind that the AMX was a tier 8 tank. We did a good amount of damage to him, got spotting damage on him, and because he's a higher tier tank, we're going to get an XP multiplier for that. Still, I'm surprised that 3,100 damage and 1,300 assistance damage was worth 1,400 base experience. But apparently it was, not that I'm going to complain. So, that was my first ever ace in the KV-3. Let's go and jump into another game. So here we go with another game, and if you're looking at this, getting a slight sense of deja vu and wondering if I've accidentally put the same replay in the video twice, you could be forgiven, but no, fear not, I haven't completely lost my marbles. KV-3 again, Karelia again, Assault game again, but if you pay attention to some of the details, you'll notice firstly we're top tier rather than it being a tier 8 game, and secondly we're defending this time rather than assaulting. This was actually the last game I ever played in the KV-3. I have since, well, I've got a review up of it, and I have since sold this machine. But do you guys ever get those games where you just can't be bothered to play properly anymore? And you just play aggressively. I mean, probably too aggressively, but I don't know, you're just in that frame of mind, that kind of mood. I occasionally get them, and this was one of those games. It was, like I said, it was the last game I played in the KV-3. I think I needed something like 300 experience to unlock the KV-4. It was some really small amount. And, you know, I can basically get that by just rolling forwards and hitting my face against a brick wall for 10 minutes. I'm slightly exaggerating, but you know what I mean. 300 experience in a tier 7 game isn't that much of an ask. So I just played this without caring, really, if we're going to be honest. Alright, so it's a tier 7 game, and when I say it's a tier 7 game, it's a very tier 7 game. There is one tank on our team that is not tier 7, that's our ARL-44. There are 3 tanks on the enemy team that are not tier 7, and you kind of look at this and think, well, the matchmakers had a bit of a flub. It could have taken one of those tier 6s and put it on our team, and that would have evened things out a bit better, but there we go. The enemy Tiger 1 manages to kill the enemy Cromwell. Yeah, GG mate, GG, well done. And then the enemy E25 now is our A44, who, I think he just rushed down the middle. It's a kind of aggressive play, and sometimes it backfires. So, we've got myself, ARL, AMX, Tiger P, and an IS on this corner, facing off against an IS, T29, Tiger P, and a KV-2 that we know of. And I have been spotted! Oh no, didn't see that one coming. No idea where the KV-2's looking behind him. I mean, that's just not a good plan. So, slam a shot into the rear of his turret. Their IS is now down to 41 health. We just lost our Tiger 1. Oh noes. Hello, Mr. KV-2. You probably should have been looking the right way in the first place. Oh well, never mind. There's kill number 1. Tiger P, T29, and an IS. Hello, Mr. Tiger P. Oh, you're going to turn? That makes it easy for me. There we go. Nice shot. I think that went through his side armour, though I could be wrong. And the enemy IS is now no longer for this world. However, enemy Tiger 1 has turned up. Ooh, who knows? A legendary Tiger, whatever shall we do? Well, we'll put a 495 damage roll into the rear of that T29 who's looking the wrong way. That's what we'll do. 500. No. In fact, that might actually be a maximum damage roll for this gun. 390 alpha damage. If not complete max, it's close to a max damage roll. Aiming for that shoulder section because it's made of side armour. There we go, 396. And I've finally taken some damage. And the Tiger P is dead. Tiger 1 is next. I'm going to wait around here. I just lost my loader. Put the loader back in. This Tiger 1 is probably thinking, holy cow, where did all my mates go? Well, Monster Tiger, are you? Yes, maybe you shouldn't have killed your friendly Cromwell earlier on. I mean, I'm assuming it was an accident, but even so, mate, ooh, that ammo rack. Even so, do try to be more careful. Apparently it's unfair! Oh, you poor little diddums. Anyway, there's that flank killed. This was just one of those games. I got spotted! Oh no! It's probably by one of the enemy tank destroyers up on that hill. That would be my guess. So, last spotted, there was an M7 at E7. Oh, this is kind of poetry there, I like that. But he's unlikely to prove a massive threat. There was the E25 at G5, and I am now moving along, well, I'm moving along below this ridgeline, and just for the record, if you're in a tier 7 game, and you're in a tier 7 heavy tank, and you're assaulting Karelia, and you are sitting up there where that T29 is, you, yes you, are the reason that your team loses. This shot's never going to penetrate. Don't even know why I bothered. Just don't do it. It boggles the mind. Anyway, M7 is dead. I'm moving along here because I imagine, considering there's a shed ton of heavy tanks on the enemy team, I imagine they're going to be pushing toward our base, as indeed they are. And although I'm slow and ponderous, if I move along here, I should be able to plump shots into their nice big fat juicy rears and sides and tanks. There we go. That one might have hit, might not, no idea. The accuracy on this gun sucks. But never mind. And Tiger 1. Nice clean shot into him, or what there was, until friendly Tiger 1 got in the way. There we go, 346 into him. He's probably not much longer for this world with his... the Tiger 1, our Tiger 1 actually misses. Germans, good snipers. Soviets, terrible snipers, right? That's clearly how this works. Now I do have a very slender shot on that other Tiger 1. There were a lot of Tigers in this game. Just noticed. Oh well. I do actually have a very slender shot, but it's not very good. Not much of a shot on Boom. That's an awesome name, by the way, mate. Boom in his Tiger. But Soviet accuracy being what it is, we managed to make it anyway. All praise mighty RN Jesus. E25 ahead of us. IS, T29, Tiger 1 and T29 up there. Well, I don't have any immediate shots at the moment. Oh, the E25's moved. Well, that shouldn't come as a massive surprise. I mean, the E25 is a fast little blighter. So we slowly and ponderously move up. I noticed that I had a shot. Try and re-find it. Oh, the guy's only on 25 health. Screw that. Cannot be bothered. And he's dead. There's only 4 of them left now. We are very definitely into the clease-up. Clease-up? Yes, the clease-up phase of this game. The clean-up phase of this game. My God, my English skills are failing me. Hello, Mr. E25. You're behind a rock. Ah, yes, spoil sport. Right, T29. Enemy T29, that is. And boom. Headshot. That's kill number 3. Just an IS and a T20 Dear tongue. Kindly communicate with brain and talk properly. Let's try this again, shall we? There's an IS and a T29 up here. Hurrah! I managed to get my words out. Let's just speed this along a little bit, because watching a KV-3 climb uphill is one of the more tedious things you can do in this game. There's the IS on 190 odd health. I'm never going to get down there in time to give him the good news. Speed this up again. Where's that T29? There he is, and he puts a shot into me. I'm struggling with my gun depression. Still struggling with my gun depression. There we go, I managed to put a shot into him. He puts one into me, he sets me on fire. Those of you who've seen my review will know that I think this thing sets on fire like a bleeding thing that sets on fire a lot. Next shot fails miserably to kill me. And there we go. Kill number 4. Killing the T29. Yeah, I only needed like 300 experience from that game. Should we go and see how much I actually got? Well, I got my 300 experience. As I say, it was the last game I played in this tank, and that ended up being my 3rd ace tanker. So, ace tanker, fighter, 4 kills, yeah. Sharpshooter for some hits or something. Fire for effect, did more damage than we had health, and a high caliber award, which is always nice to get. 4,262 damage. Which, for a tier 7 tank, is not too shabby. 1,372 base experience. Coming easily the top of our team, or the top of anyone in the game on experience and in damage. 13 shots fired, 13 hits, 12 penetrations. Soviet guns may not be particularly accurate, but if you're mainly going to use them at a range of 3 centimeters, it doesn't really matter too much. Having said that, 4,262 damage, 3,000 of it was at close range, but the other 1,200 longer range. 7 hits received, 4 pens, 3 didn't pen. We only blocked 560 damage with our armour. We didn't really block much damage with armour in either of these games, but there we go. 7 enemies damaged, 4 of them killed, 335 assistance damage if anyone's counting, for 25,500 credit profit. It would have been a 48,000 credit profit with a premium account, so if you have good games you can definitely make money at tier 7 without too much difficulty. I hope you guys enjoyed that pair of games. I believe that's the last material I have to show you from the KV-3. If you did enjoy them, please feel free to catch some of my other videos. You might want to catch my KV-3 review, or a video I put up a week or two ago that includes the KV-3 where we duff some people over on Ruinberg. Or there's a game a long time ago in a video that was a compilation of Soviet heavy tank gameplay, and that has a stock KV-3 in. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. By all means, feel free to catch some of my other videos and or subscribe to my channel. And I wish you very happy hunting on that battlefield. Ciao, ciao.